Hi, Fluffy here. Just to let you know, subtitles are on for the story section of this video. Content warnings for this statement are unreality, sacrificial and cult themes, and minor character death. Stay safe! Statement of user Thomas_Rex. Statement made 1.14. Statement number 23-M. Account begins. I like villagers a lot. I think they're pretty cool, you know? They got style. They got the mansions and the towers and all the different classes of villagers, and don't even get me started on the Ravagers. Villagers are cool as hell, and I like them a lot. Doesn't take away from the weird parts of them. Do you ever wonder why evokers don't use their own totems on the dying? I have a bet going on with two of my friends. Cam thinks they're too stupid to use them. Dawn thinks they would if the code would let them. Sorry, suppose I should say I had a bet going on with my friends. Suppose it's not hard to see where the story is going. Can't say I miss them. Cam was a friend I stayed with out of obligation, and after the fight we had, I'm not gonna miss Dawn. Still though, worlds upon worlds with respawn. Feels weird when someone dies forever. We decided we were going to explore a woodland mansion together after the village pillage update. We wanted to see if there had been any new things added to the mansions to fit in with the new stuff. I know that they've been around for a while, but it could have been cool. Dawn traded with a cartographer for a mansion map and we geared up. Nothing short of god armor and weapons. I even brought an enchanted golden apple. I said I would go ahead to scout out the mansion. I left in the dead of night. The mansion was about 3,000-ish blocks away, but I made sure to leave a copy for Dawn and Cam to follow when they were ready. Day and a half later, and a literal ocean away, found the mansion. It looked like a normal enough mansion from the outside. I was a little bummed, to be honest. I wanted to see some new stuff with the mansions. I decided to go inside anyway. Shot a message over world comms to Dawn and Cam that I didn't think there was anything different, and headed in through the front door. Instantly, I knew there was something wrong. For a start, there was the tapestry. It stretched across the whole entrance of the mansion, maybe 10 or 15 blocks across. Some sort of bird, yellow on red, wings outstretched over the foyer. I stood there for a few seconds just looking at it. I was so impressed. Was this in every mansion, or had I found a rare one? I raised my column to snap a photo, and then I saw it. Just in front of me. Another room. A fireplace. I moved forward. And I looked to my right. A Vindicator. Staring right at me. No sign of an axe, just thumb. I raised my sword and shield, expecting to fight any moment. Instead of taking an axe to my chest, the Vindicator nodded and walked away. I was so shocked. Were some illagers friendly in the new update? Or was it just something I was carrying? I snapped that photo of the tapestry, and then carefully followed the way the Vindicator had gone. Within seconds, I knew this wasn't something that had to do with an update. It was... I still don't have the words to describe it. Beautiful, sure. There's also words that just don't exist. Words I need. Words I crave to share what I saw. I don't have the words. I just have normal words. So we'll stick with beautiful. Whatever the illagers had done, because this was illager work, not code work, not player work. Illager work. The illagers had transformed their mansion from a dull, repetitive wood into a home. Hearth haven. I wandered the rooms, looking at the illagers gathered around, and they gazed back at me with a look that felt like I was finally home. They waved and called to me, inviting me to join them, but I kept walking. I wasn't sure what I was looking for until I got to the top floor, where the evokers lived. Their room was just as beautiful as everywhere else in the mansion, and they turned to me. The very center of the table was a pile of items. One of them nodded for me to pick them up, and I reached for the pick. Prison Break was the name etched into the handle. Cam's pickaxe. I picked up each item, turning it over. All of it belonged to Cam, and I dropped the sword I was holding to check my comm. The evokers chatted around me, some in approval and some in satisfaction, before all bowing their head to me. Cam wasn't on the tab list. I opened chat to see how he died, except there was no death message either. I scrolled up and found no message from Cam. Yeah, that's a bad way to explain it. I mean, there was no record of a message from Cam. Nothing. Even where I had typed his name into chat was gone, just leaving blank and empty space. The evokers hummed. One hit a lever on the table. The center of the table opened up and revealed a hole. Very deep hole. One that I somehow knew went down to bedrock and below, all the way down into the void. And even deeper. I knew Cam was down there. I got the message quick enough. Cam's armor was the first to join him in the hole. And soon, there was nothing left of him but a memory. And the evokers assured me a memory wasn't enough to bring him back. It was enough to keep him in pain. Of course, as when dawn broke in, smashed right through the window, stabbed the evokers, and yelled at me to run. I blindly followed, more out of confusion than anything else, leaving an empty room behind us. Dawn was yelling at me as we ran. Something about Cam and something about her. I was too focused on the beauty of the mansion to pay much attention to what she was saying. We made it down the stairs, and she went out the front door. I stayed inside. Thomas, she begged me, and I started paying attention. Thomas, they killed your friend. Please, tell me you care about that. No, I said. I don't. She looked heartbroken. All of the Vindicator came up behind her. Then she looked scared. I hope she and Cam are enjoying each other's company down there. Dawn left me with very few evokers. I'm the leader of the mansion now. Just me and my illagers, and that's how it's going to stay forever. Sometimes, though, I can still hear the both of them scream. End account. Ouroboros. Ouroboros. Ouroboros again. Is it a signature? Is it like an end statement thing? Ouroboros is the snake that eats itself, right? Like mythology snake, or just kind of what happens to snakes when they get stressed. I don't like it. Why is it there at the end of both of these books? This is a very deeply disturbing story that I am choosing to take as someone's personal fanfic to help distract them from the issues between them and their friends. Yep. Someone who likes illagers and someone who's been having issues with their friends writes fanfic to cope with the deep emotional scarring that comes from losing a friendship. That's what this is. That's what this is.
Were we supposed to do something?
I don't know what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to introduce the new people and Honeycraft, and that was about it.
Oh, we did that.
Yeah, we initiated.
So now we're just chilling. Okay, anyways, welcome to Honeycraft Season 2. We are all happy to be here. And we have a new member, Lila.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
We did have another one, Tashi, but she couldn't make it. So you're gonna be the one that goes in the initiation hole.
Yes,
do your
lovely.
pronunciation.
Oh,
Should I set a spawn?
Yeah, probably.
As everyone wondering why I have so much stuff already in my inventory, we started a bit earlier.
Oh yeah, some of us started a lot earlier.
A bit.
Yeah.
I, got my diamond armor in my
Before we
inventory.
finish-
No
You
big
know,
deal.
working on my villager system, but yeah.
Can we all just thank Fluffy for getting us all beginning elytras? Because
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
MVP.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for that.
Fluffy holding Honeycraft
Like,
together.
and shulkers too. Like,
yeah,
The shulker is
the
amazing.
extra
Yes.
mile. To
Which
get
one of you had the
shulkers.
lime shulker? That took me so goddamn long.
Thank you. I
Ah.
appreciate it.
all right.
I see a
Alright.
bed.
Go
It's
to the
over there.
initiation hole.
Wrong way to initiation hole.
Oh,
The bed's right there.
It's over that
There's a
way.
bed though. That's what I needed.
Okay.
Yep.
Initiation holes this
This way.
way.
Alright,
Yep, here we
initiation
go.
hole we go.
Done.
so the story, if you're all wondering, on my end, since I did not record season 1, at spawn there was a giant spawn hole which I proceeded to punch everyone into. So that kind of became a thing.
We died.
So now we have an It's just law now that we have to have this huge hole at spawn to punch
Yeah,
people
And
into.
thankfully, even though this seed was completely random, we happen to have another huge hole at spawn.
It's even bigger.
I'm
pretty sure it's bigger.
that me and V have nearby our area, but this one turned out to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, the one we
Alright,
have at our
so
place is not.
Everyone gather around Lila. Okay.
I'm not sure if this qualifies as a hole though.
Well, we're gonna call it a hole.
Good
so-
enough.
All right.
It's Hey!
Incredible job, and Honeycraft is off to
No,
an
you don't
official
get to
start.
have a war. Do not.
But yes, I should probably introduce the people here on my end. We got Rosie B, the lovely admin, and this season, my base buddy. We got Fluffy Papaya, we're the chaotic duo of this server. Ow! Don't, I might actually die, so don't.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, really?
We got Owo, who is
Hermit.
another one of the chaotic people. we are the pun duo.
Yes.
Okay. We got the lovely couple here, Mixie and M. They are the lovely couple of the server.
We are not. We broke up. In the lore.
Again?
Oh my
Again.
Divorce number
Again?
5.
We got
Me and Farron are the only ones.
we got
Yay.
lovely Storm J over here.
Hello.
We got the amazing Xno, and the only guy on the server.
Oh,
Okay.
And we got the lovely new member Lila.
Hello.
That's just on the server at the moment. We have a couple others who are not on the server right now.
Like Farron, who's my spouse.
Farron.
Farron, Red, and Tashi.
Farron, Red, and Tosh.
Roses, Tashi. Yes. All right. I think
So, what do we do now?
Kill each other?
No.
no.
I love how
Flashbacks.
the first thing.
Sorry.
Yeah!
That was an accident. That was an accident. Dang it.
Well, I guess this is how we end this bit.
I still don't have my stuff back because I didn't grab it, so I'm just gonna jump in the pit and get back to that bed.
Easy.
You up there?
Fast travel.
And nobody punched me. I'm not getting near that edge.
I'm going back to the platform.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, some of us have already like started on our bases and stuff.
Yes, actually, I do have a lot of my base done. I mean, nowhere near finished, but like we're working still on kind of like the central building. But we have the library, we have the, you know what, I'm just gonna call it the stoneworks. We have the stoneworks. We have this kind of like little storage building that I built. First of all, oh my gosh, mangrove leaves in a like snowy biome, in a cold biome. That's gorgeous. But we do have this little storage building I made with a friendly little bee inside. Actually, 3 bees, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's just like, you know, basic storage through here. Yeah, I just made like this fun little building off camera, just kind of like solve the storage crisis that was slowly happening to my chest. Like I had those, I have these, I have this. So like now that this is kind of starting to get cleared out, I can like fully organize my chest system and, you know, not be. Yeah, I usually have a chest monster problem. Not this time. I refuse. You can't make me. But I do have a theory. Every time I build something, I get in there one of those books. These books, the freaky books, the Ouroboros books. Yeah, Randidus and Thomas underscore Rex. Those both appeared in the buildings as I built them. Or after I built them when I was showing them off. One of the two, I'm not sure which. So, I now have a theory that every time I build something on camera, I get a new book. So, I built that storage building off camera. We're gonna see if I get a book inside of it. Also, like, who's sending me books? Like, does no one have anything else to do other than just write books and drop them at my base? Like, come on. You gotta have a better use for your free time. I'm gonna put these back in the ender chest though, just so I don't lose them. If I get any more, I'll have to start an archive. So, I'm not going to be building anything on camera today. Oh, I'm tempted. Oh, I'm so tempted to just start a new project. Well, I suppose I'll find out in a few seconds if I do decide to start a new project. Alright, I made up my mind. I'm not going to build anything. Instead well, what I've done is I've gotten 4 soul sand, 3 wither skeleton skulls. I'm gonna go kill the wither, because that's what I do. I kill the wither a lot. Okay, so I realized that if I wanted to collect the deep slate like I wanted to, I had to go back, and I went back up and I grabbed 2 shulker boxes. So, this is going to be fun. Is this a long enough tunnel? No, I might need to go for a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but still, this might not be long enough. Hello. How much further do you go? Is this my silk pick? No, it's my mending pick. Good. Alright, let's get the shield ready. Just a little bit further. I feel like that's a sign from the universe. Thank you, universe. Okie dokie. Well, no time like the present. Let's actually block that off. Oh, for goodness sake. Universe, I already said thank you. Go away, please. Not actually, but... Thank you, universe. Thank you. Ow. I really should have seen that coming. Okie dokie. Here goes. Let me take a screenshot of this. Let me eat. Here goes nothing. There we go. Okie dokie. And here's how you instant mine deep slate. Is you get out there, you hit it once, and you bring it this way. Thank you for instant mining my deep slate. Oh my god, he's so... I'm just gonna turn off the game volume. Ooh, you're getting awfully close to me. And it's as simple as that. Nice job, me. That really was not as long and as painful as it could have been. Wahoo! Let's just light this all up, and let's collect that deep slate. And also, collect that diamond. Hello. Whoop whoop. Aw, I could have let it go for longer. I could have let it go for a lot longer. Damn. Well, I did. I tried my best. I always come back here with another wither. I'm gonna still grab this gravel and flint. Is that every block? Yeah, that's every block. Ooh. Now that's every block. Now that's every block. Yeah, sweet. I have another star now. I guess I just go back home. I have the head!